What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's gonna be.
Hey, what up, everybody?
We're here on the Underground Pulse podcast. Shout out to Frankie for fucking shit up right off the bat, but much love to him anyway. We got the homie Trauma in the motherfucking building of Hed PE. Shout out to Trauma for coming in, dude. I know Lee's been wanting you to come in and say what's up and spit some knowledge on this podcast for quite a while now. So, uh,
Yeah, we've been
Lee,
talking about it for a minute.
Lee, go ahead, man. I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one, brother.
All right, for sure. Jump right in. How's coming up? What got you into drumming? I know your mom's singer, right, for the Platters.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, she was for almost 30 years, and my uncle, he was the music director for Jordan Sparks when she won American Idol,
Oh shit.
and yeah, he has his own funk band that he's been doing for a long time. He's worked with Bootsy Collins, George Clinton. He's like a funk guy.
So music's
And
kind of been
so
ingrained in your family this whole your whole life, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, that's basically the family business as far as my family's concerned. Is music. My father, he played guitar and he toured with his band with Zeppelin like way back in the '60s. And he's, yeah, he's a shredder too. Both sides of my family is what I'm saying. My father's side and my mom's side. It's all music.
So then my question is like does has your inspiration always kind of came from that rock side of stuff, or was hip hop also an inspiration for you coming up as well?
Well, hip hop was never like a big part of what inspired me as like a musician.
Yeah.
I came up on like funk, and that kind of turned into hip hop. But like when I was a kid in the '80s, and the funk was just starting to, then there'd be like some hip hop stuff that included some funk elements to it, and that was kind of cool. But it was always like funk, soul, and then I discovered metal. And when I discovered metal when I was a kid, that's what like really took me over. I became a metal junkie for years. Like just a total metal junkie. That's but like death metal, black metal, all the heaviest metal. So I was mostly into metal, and then hip hop was like a kind of a later on thing that I started getting and playing around with making beats and that kind of shit with my cousin because he's also an artist and he does rap and hip hop and whatever. So we'd make music together, and that's kind of how that went. But hip hop wasn't ever like a major inspiration for me, more than like funk, soul, jazz, and metal. Of course, is the biggest actual like passion for what I like to play. I love metal.
What was
Absolutely.
the band that got you into metal?
There were three records. It was Megadeth, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying?
Yeah.
Metallica and Justice for All, and Obituary, The Incomplete. I'll never forget those three records because my other Uncle Jeff, he's a guitarist as well. He's a total shredder, and we weren't allowed to go in his office. He had a bunch of music in his CD tower at the time, and it was supposed to have been like '91 or something like that. And yeah, like me and him snuck, like got into his office and grabbed some of these CDs and ran back into his room and played it. And it was those three records. We listened from beginning to end, all of them, And we're like, whoa, my cousin, he loved it too, and I loved it. We were just like, it was scary, for us. It was like scary at the time. Listening, it was like hard to listen to, but then it had these moments of greatness. It just took me on a journey. So like metal for me, yeah, like thrash metal like that, classic shit. That's what really like got me going. Yeah, those three records especially.
So what were you already drumming at this point when you kind of got into your more metal influence phase?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When did you
It
start
was like
drumming, picking up
I
a
must
kit?
have been like 7 or 8.
Do you remember like first like realizing, hey, this is something that I really fuck with and I could actually be really good with?
I didn't really think of it like that. It just was different. Like everyone, all of my family that I was around all the time, and I was around a lot of family in my earlier years like that. It was, different in my teenage years, but at that time in my life, when I was a little kid, the family was always together. and the family are all musicians and they're all artists. So it never crossed my mind even a little bit at that time, or even as a teenager, really, of stardom or fame or whatever, or anything like that. Or not even like professionally speaking, just doing it to make money. It was always just kind of becoming better at the craft and learning the craft and just immersing myself in the creativity of it, because it was just a way of life at the time. You know, my parents and my uncles and aunts are already doing this stuff. And all of our family friends were also in the business, so everyone was just kind of artists. And when my mom would have parties, all these artists would come over. The drummer, a Prince's drummer, come over. Sugarfoot, who's like a crazy drummer. He was he drummed with Michael Jackson and his band. You know, these are people that would be at their house. You know, we'd have a little party or something.
So it's like
That
you've
was
always
just
had
there.
this. You always had this self-perpetuated encouragement within your family per se, because you would see like your closest relatives succeeding as well. So there would I don't see there ever being a doubt in your mind being like, hey, I couldn't do this as well. You know what I mean? When with growing up seeing that.
Yeah, I never thought that.
Yeah.
I never thought that. Like, it was just, it wasn't even. This is probably the first time that I've ever given this any thought right now, talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I'm glad we
never
can
even
dig in the
thought about
mind.
that.
I'm glad we can dig into the mind a little bit. So,
Right.
do you remember your first like times you were doing gigs and stuff like that when you actually started approaching bands and becoming a member of groups and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I played with my uncle's band a lot. Um, his band was Slapback. It's my Uncle Gerald I was telling you about, that was, you know, Jordan Sparks and Stevie
Yeah.
Salas he's working with now. You know, I always kind of tinkered around with that stuff before, but then I started taking it seriously when I would be at their rehearsals or whatever, and my uncle would like embarrass whatever drummer they had because if they weren't playing a part right or something like that. And I must have been like 9 years old, 9 or 10 by this time. My uncle, I'd be at rehearsal with my mom, of course, you know what I'm saying? No babysitter or some shit, so I'd just be like listening and kind of soaking it in.
Yeah.
And then if my uncle was like getting frustrated with the drummer, he'd be like, "Get off the cake, Jeremy, go up there, and play the thing and show this guy how to do it." And then the drummer would just be just hot, like, you know,
Embarrassing them by means of child.
That's badass.
Straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, like that kind of happened. I guess by the time I was 12, I did my first gig, like gig. You know, it was with Slapback. I came because I was at all the rehearsals. I knew all the songs and I could play it at that time. My uncle's been doing gigs since he was 4. He was like one of the prodigal son, if you will, of that. You know, he could play everything and anything. Right now, you can go on YouTube and see this fool doing a jam all by himself and just shredding all the stuff. Like, he was
Really?
nuts, you know. So yeah. Jara Harris, Jara, and then Harris. You can look up YouTube. Jara Harris does a jam all by himself at 3 a.m. or something like that.
Check that out. We actually have a producer in the back. What'd you say it was? Jara Harris jamming at 3 a.m?
Yeah, Jara Harris recording jam all by himself at like 3 a.m. or 1 a.m. or something.
All right.
Like that. Jara. It's Jara Harris. It's a black and white video. It should pop up on YouTube there. But
You got
it's
it?
nasty, dude.
Well, I found
all
it.
the things.
We got Frankie on it right now anyway, but you got it up there, Frankie?
Whoa,
No?
oh my God. We got the
We'll
one
give it a minute.
Plays all the instruments to 3 5.
Did you see I just was sitting here and I'm like,
What?
there's like a bald head right there, bro.
I think we got it. Huh?
This guy.
That's a-
Let him join in. I think that's it right here. Yeah.
No, it's a black and white video, but let's see if I can send you the link. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see if I send you the link.
No, I did not.
Oh my goodness.
It's one like that's fine.
Here it is. Am I able to text in there, or should I?
You might be able to put it in the chat, and then Frankie could pull it from the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Let me
it?
see. Is
I
there
think,
a
yeah, I
chat?
think we found it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. There it is.
Got it there. Yeah. All right, bust it out.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Dope. So, yeah. Oh,
Beads in the beard.
A little more sound, like. Damn. What year are we talking this was?
17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years ago.
Damn, bro. My God. And this is all you. This is all produced by
That's
you,
all
right?
Gerald.
Oh, my bad. Dude, he produced all this himself, too? This is all him.
Hold on.
Huh?
This is all. The sound is rough on my end.
Crazy. Oh, I know.
I can't hear you guys very well.
Oh, you're good, man. Here, hold on. That is fucking impressive.
Yeah, that's
Dude.
better.
Holy shit. So,
Yeah, so that's my uncle, dude. So he's like, he's the shit. And
Self-produced,
he's who I came up
all
with. So
that.
he was like probably my biggest mentor. Yeah, everything he does himself, like self-produced, self-mixed. Like he does everything himself, including, as you saw, playing all the instruments too. Like he's a shredder at all of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, what, you need a
incredible.
guitarist? I'll shred it out.
Yeah, that's
He's
wild.
like that.
Yeah. Is he? I don't. To kind of get up to speed with him. Is he still doing stuff like that? Is he still around?
Oh yeah. He's still got his band Slapback. They're doing things all the time.
Oh,
He's
sweet.
back where I'm from in Orange County, California. So he's got the guy still kicking, doing it. He just fought cancer and beat it. He had cancer in the neck, and we're all thinking, oh my God, will he ever be able to sing again? Because he sings really well. He also fronts his band and he sings. Great singer, like classic funk soul style singing too. And so we were all thinking, oh my God, cancer in the neck, is he ever going to be able to sing again? So he's back on it, killing it still. So
I can never
Yeah.
let. So
Uh,
keep it going, Lee.
so before your engagement of going and becoming with Hed PE, how did that connection start with them?
Oh, that's a great question. It's a great story too. I was basically in like corporate America for a while because even though I grew up as a musician, as an artist, whatever, I didn't necessarily want to go down that path that the rest of my family did. I wanted to like just go make a lot of money. That's what I was thinking, like in my later teens. And I gave up drumming for 6 years. I didn't touch a drum kit at all for 6 years. From when I was 18 to 24, no, for 5 years. Yeah, 6 years. 17 to 23, right there in that area, because I went and I wanted to just go make money. So I started chasing that. Ended up in jail, making money in the wrong ways, and then I got out of jail. And then that's when I went straight into like corporate America, that kind of stuff. I was in the cell phone business, and then I got into mortgages and that sort of thing, and worked my way up. I was pretty successful with it, but just always was something missing, and it just didn't feel right. And then,
So wait. Let me get this
it just
straight.
hit me like,
Let me get this straight.
I could.
You were doing mortgage. You were doing mortgage stuff.
I was an executive. Yeah, I was an executive VP of sales at a lending institution for a while.
Damn,
After
bro.
being a top producer for a while,
That's
and
like
killing it. Just
isn't that like much of a culture shock change though, from going into like doing music consistently to going to financing and shit like that?
I mean, I didn't really.
You didn't look at it
At
like
that
that?
time in my life, I wasn't. No, I was just like, okay, what's the next best opportunity to make a bunch of money? And this time, doing it legitimately.
Yeah,
That was mainly what I was thinking. And some of my buddies got into the mortgage business and came to me when because I was in cell phones at the time. I had 3 cell phone stores when I was 19. And my buddies were getting into mortgages, and they would talk to me about it, like, dude, there's a lot of money to be made in mortgages. Like, you would kill it. Really? And I'm just kind of living ghetto fabulous, hustling, you know what I'm saying, out of one of my stores. So I was cool, but I was like, I really wanted to go straight, you know what I mean?
So that
So that's when I
legitimized
got
you.
mortgages and did that for a few years and killed me.
Yeah.
That's like when I actually got straight and was
Yeah.
not doing all the crazy stuff, you know. And basically, after a few years of that, doing it, succeeding with it, and being still miserable, you know, I had like an epiphany. I just saw I was really fat too, dude. I was like 300 pounds and just upset, angry at life every day with a ton of money. And my house was like just as empty as I was inside. You know, like it was this nice big house, and the living room was a big TV and a couch and nothing in it. My bedroom had nothing in it, just a bed. I didn't even know what to do with it. You know, it's just in my early 20s. You know, what's up, Kurt? Yeah, my man. Cheers, brother. Yeah. So I did that and just had an epiphany. I had to get out of it. Got myself in shape and started doing music again. I gave away my drum kit because I just didn't even think I'd ever want it. I went back and got my first drum kit when I was a kid from the people I gave it to. And,
shit.
And sold everything I had. Bought a Nissan Sentra, sold my Beamer, got rid of the house, and sold everything I had. Just got my drums, got my clothes, and put my clothes in the trunk, drums in like the back seat, front seat, and Kurt couch surfed and lived in my car for a while. It was awesome, dude. It was like the funnest time of my life.
Was this where were you at in the country at this time when you were couch surfing and running around?
So San Clemente, which is where I'm from.
Okay. So you're still around your home area.
Yeah. So like all my homies, we drank and boozing all day, shooting pool, and every now and again I pick up gigs because I have my drums, so I always be able to go and do a gig, you know. And after doing that for a couple of years, my cousin gives me a call and says, "Dude, I just got you an audition for Hed PE." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, "Dude, Hed PE, you know what I'm talking about? They're fucking huge or something." I've never heard of them. He was like, "How can you not have heard of Hed PE, bro? Like, what are you talking about?"
So what year were you talking about this?
This was 2008.
2008? All right.
Yeah. And so, yes, 2 years ago, that's about the time I was 24. And I've been doing this for just about 2 years. And that's when that wrong. And the way he got me this audition, he says, got me this audition, but he accidentally called his homie who worked at a studio across the alleyway from where Hed PE was auditioning drummers after Tiny quit the band. And he accidentally called him. He was going to call this other friend of his to come and see one of my shows. Because I had a metal band called Bloodbath and Beyond. And we were going to play.
Pull that up, Frankie.
You know, so that was pretty cool. And then he accidentally called his friend. We just got to talking. He's like, "Yeah, dude, my cousin's playing a gig tonight. I'm going to take one of my friends and see him. I'll talk to you later." Well, I guess in between, after that phone call, Jared had randomly walked into the studio because he wasn't happy with the drummers he'd been auditioning all week. And was like, "Hey, does anyone know a drummer?" And the dude Mark was in the front there, and he said, "Oh, I think my friend, I just talked to him, his cousin plays drums. You want me to try to call him or something?" He said, yeah, sure, call him and ask him the name of the band's Hed PE and blah, blah, blah. And that's when my cousin called me back and said, "Dude, you got an audition for Hed PE." And I'm just like, I don't know what the hell. I don't even know what you're talking about. And I was like, they're a big band. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, all right. Is there a number? Like, let me talk to him and see what's going on. I had no desire to do it at that time. I was living ghetto fabulous, dude, just partying my ass off. Like, it was pretty damn fun, but I didn't really have any direction.
You were content as fuck where you were at. You know what I mean? You were doing good.
Yeah,
You were
I
sliding.
was fine because by this time, after that couple of years, I ended up plays. I ended up, you know, establishing myself, had some good residency gigs with some cover bands and stuff. So it ended up being pretty good at that time. And then, but no, this happened, and then I get on the phone with Jared. I was like, you know, okay, I've never heard of your band. Do you want to like email me some MP3s or something? I could burn a CD and listen to it. And he was like, oh, okay. So he emailed me like 6 songs, and I went and drank a whole bunch of alcohol, did all the blow until like 9 or 10 in the morning, and then
You got
I
prepared.
was like, I wasn't getting prepared. I had my show, so I did my show and just partied all night. And like, I was about to take my little coke nap, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's like an audition that happened today. Okay, I don't even know what this band. No, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I went on opened up my laptop, just like, I was sitting there, I pull up the stuff, and I burned the CD. My car was broken down, so I had to borrow my friend's car to go up to it. And yeah, I listened to the CD on the way up there. I was like, oh, I can play this stuff. This is, good. Then I auditioned. And that's how it happened. I went first, and then after, like, I jammed with Mark and Jackson, I was like, whoa, this is something different. Like, it's a different level that I was used to. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are like really pro. I was like, whoa, this is like badass, really. And then I got more and more excited as the audition went on. Like, because I heard the music. I'm like, oh, the music's cool. I can play that. I can do that. But then it wasn't until jamming with them and then Jared coming in and being able to do some songs with Jared, I was like, whoa, I see what he can do on the vocals. I was like, this is something different. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, Jared's a
to see how it sizes up against the other drummers. But then I fell in love with it at that moment. I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I finished the audition, went outside, and played some little bunk real quick while I was sitting in the car. And then all of a sudden, like a little time goes by, and I see everyone leaving the audition.
Uh-oh. Trauma. All right, we were getting to the good part. Trauma's gonna have to go AFK apparently just for a minute. While we're waiting for him, we'll get some music going. Dollarless, play that drum. Play some that drumming we found from earlier. Yeah. You there, Trauma? We don't have any video for you, bud. Trauma. There we go. Video in. We can't hear you, though. You there, Trauma? We can't hear you. You might want to leave one time and then hop back into the chat one time. I'm not too sure what's going on. All right. We'll keep this rolling while he does that.
Yeah, I drink that whiskey all night. Flip out the beats when them tricks pass by. I'm that fool next up, waiting on the rain. Loose around the couch, I just bring a game day. Dreaming about the better time, race, life. I'm with that quick fix, we tweaking all night. Killing time, just kill it, die. Kill it, die, just kill it, die.
All right, there we go, Trom.
Sorry about that. I lost you guys. Where did I lose you at?
What was it? You just did a line and you saw everybody start to leave.
Got you. Okay, I know exactly where you're at. So yeah, just a little bump in the car.
Yeah.
And get out, and everyone's leaving. And they looked at me. You with the horns? Are you Jeremiah? Yeah. They're like, oh, congratulations.
Uh-oh. We're losing you again, Trom.
Talk.
We're losing you pretty bad, Trauma. Hold on. Hold on a second. All right, I think we're getting you back. All right. There we go. Yeah, it says full bars now. Sorry.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, we should be good now. Oh, kind of. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're trying here. Yeah, it's not getting good reception on your end at the moment. It keeps Xing out. Dang. Yeah, he's completely lost, X'd out. There, well. I think that's 1 second. Shout out to all the people tuning in, by the way. Give us just 1 second if you can just wait for some reception to pop back in here. Well, hopefully we can at least get the story finished. There we go. There we go. You there, Trom?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This is actually good connection now. We got you.
Yeah, I had to reconnect.
You're good, bro. Don't trip.
I came over here to this Taco Bell because I just moved onto my property, and the guys to install the internet can't come until tomorrow. So.
Hey, man, don't trip, dude. We appreciate you giving us your time of the day anyway, man. It's not a big deal if we have internet lag every once in a while, bro. I ain't tripping, bro.
All right, cool. So, all right, so let's finish the story. So they came up to me and started talking to me, like, oh, congratulations. And I was kind of overwhelmed because I didn't even know if I wanted the gig yet, but I knew that I really loved what I did in there. So, I accepted it, and the rest is history. For 16 years, I did it up until 3 weeks ago.
So before we kind of get into your departure, so what was the first album you guys recorded together? And can you kind of go into the recording process of what it was like recording with Hed PE?
Sure. It was Truth Rising. It's the first one I did with the band. And at that time, the process was, listen to the songs, get an idea of how we want to do it, practice for a week leading into recording, and then all of us record together, the musicians record together the second week. It was pre-production and final production. And then Jared would do the vocals over it, mix mastered.
So would Jared send you an outline of what he kind of wanted for a song, and then you guys would kind of go with that? No?
At that time, Jackson and Jared kind of worked together to album. So, Jackson had a bunch of songs and riffs or whatever, and Jared kind of takes some of the riffs and then form it into a song that he'd dig or something like that. And then, then it would get sent to us, and get sent to me and Mark, and then we would think about what parts we wanted to put on it, and whatever. And then we'd have a week of pre-production to where we can practice it together, try out some of the things that we were talking about, and the stuff that stuck. Oh, that's nice. So that stuck in the album. And that's kind of how that worked at that time.
Absolutely. So, how many albums did you end up going about doing with Hed PE then?
So, in that capacity, it was Truth Rising, Evolution, and then Forever on some stuff. And after that, it kind of changed up a little bit. Sometimes Jared would have me program or something, whatever. We utilize that avenue. so on and so forth, like that kind of thing. A lot of digital stuff, because all the technology started changing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we do that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then, like, kind of getting more into the groove with Head PE. Can you give us any? I know sometimes when we ask artists these questions, they're like, "Oh, too crazy of stories." But is there any road stories you can give exclusively here on the Underground Pulse podcast that have not been told anywhere else? I see you blinking crazily, like 50 million different stories went through your mind right there.
Yeah.
Like, is
I
there
mean,
something
there's a
crazy you
lot.
could tell us,
There's a
man?
lot.
That won't get us banned on YouTube at least.
Well, I mean, geez, if I've already covered all the blow, I don't know how much farther we can go. Yeah, I guess I could go farther. No, I
Was
don't
there?
know.
How about this? How about this? Was there ever any shitty like breakdown on the side of the road stories where you're like, oh fuck, how are we gonna get out of this one?
Are you kidding me, bro? Yes. Yes.
I gotta hear a good one.
Over,
Spit me a good one,
over,
man.
and over.
Spit me a good one,
Oh
man.
my god. Okay, well, here's one. Just for starters, I think this was on the same tour. It must have been 2015 or 16. And we had this old Eagle bus, white tour bus. Maybe you guys have seen it in the past. And man, that thing was just a total nightmare. Problem after problem after problem. One time it broke down going up a mountain in Colorado, and it started going backwards. It started losing air pressure on the brakes. Our driver, Stevie Green's, stopped, but we were totally stopped. We had no running lights on the trailer, just an X on reflector tape in the back of the trailer while semis are flying by us, almost narrowly hitting the tour bus. Me and Greg jumped off of the tour bus and jumped into like the emergency lanes. We weren't going to sit on it.
Holy fuck, dude. See, that's always been the one thing that's always kind of like scared me about touring is the breakdown stories, bro. Middle of nowhere. Don't know where the fuck you're at, you know. But if you don't mind,
That's the worst.
if you don't mind, can we kind of go into what's happened recently with your departure from Head PE?
Oh yeah, sure. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I mean, we've kind of looked around, and I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff out there, but for any curious fans, this was obviously a mutual departing, correct?
Oh, I mean, yeah. What I don't know what it means when you say like mutual.
Well, I mean, there's no
I
bad
mean,
blood there, right?
Absolutely not. No, I love all the guys in Hed PE. I love Jared and his family,
Yeah.
and we're always going to be family for the rest of our days.
Well, you know how it is, especially within the underground scene and the climate with everything going on here in the underground. If somebody leaves a band or if somebody departs from a label or if there's always some kind of nefarious act going on. So, I mean, I didn't think that would be the thing that was going on between you and Hed PE.
No,
So.
not at all. It was a very it's just one of these things, I'm kind of it was a personal choice for me because I quit the band. Is what happened. It wasn't like there was ever any argument or things building up and leading to a certain kind of situation. It was really just as simple as I had to quit the band in my mind because I have to. For me personally, it was like I have to be able to be the best version of myself no matter what situation I'm in. And if I can't do that in what situation I'm in right now with my family, being now I got 2 kids, and I started late.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I started real late though. I'm like going to be 41 here pretty soon, and it's like, now I got these kids, these 2 kids that are like my world. I got my girl at home, and it's like, it was great with Hed PE while I didn't have any kids. And it was just great when I didn't have these other lives that I was responsible for. But I don't know if any of you guys are fathers as well, but one thing any father will tell you is that having kids really sharpens your focus, like laser sharp, and you got to really be at your best for your family. And it just was in a situation for me where I was just not at my best, not because of Hed PE or not because of Jared or anyone else. It was just because of where I was at and where I'm trying to be. Is really all
You
it
know your
was.
boundaries per se. You know your boundaries per se, and you like to set your shit.
Yeah, rather than boundaries, maybe I'd say I know where my goals are at, and I need to
Yeah.
hit those goals for myself and for my family. And if I'm not hitting those goals with whatever it is I'm doing, then I just have to go and take a different path on reaching those goals and doing what's best for my family. And this was the choice that after I made the choice, it was heartbreaking. Like I don't think there was a dry eye that entire day for me because it's not only are Jared and I so close, but 16 years of spending more time with somebody in close proximity the way that we do than our own families is not something to scoff at.
No.
Jared and I spent more time together in the last 16 years than either of us did with our own families because we're always on tour together. Like we're a hard-working band. You see, we're out all the time. So like Jared and I were like this, the cruising around for all 16 years. And that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. There's absolutely no animosity whatsoever. He's running his organization. He's got it going on. I wish Hed PE all of the success, and I'm sure they're going to get another great guy to fill my shoes. There's a lot of great drummers out there.
It's gonna be hard to fill your shoes, bro. Like you do understand that you left a pretty big some pretty big shoes to fill in that band, right? Like you do understand that, right? Like
it's so funny when I hear people say it.
You and Jared were the face of Hed PE anytime I saw you guys live. Like I like all due respects to the guitarists and bassists anytime I've seen them. Like you and Jared were the standouts of the band. Like you know what I mean? Anytime I saw you.
Thank you for the kind words.
So, yeah, man. No, I mean, anybody who's seen you guys live, like, knows that goes without being like said or stated. You know what I mean? So,
well, we had a great chemistry with Jared and I on stage. It was just like, we actually talked about it on this last tour. He was like, man, one of the things that was great is that I love being able to lock with you. You and I just kind of like lock. And I feel like I don't even have to think about it. I just know that we're always together because we were talking about some certain parts that we wanted to maybe do something different to. And I was driving also. So I wasn't like going to sound checks. You see what I'm saying? And so we had to talk about some of these things, and that kind of came up, and I felt the same way because our chemistry on there was just awesome. It's something that I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate. But whatever comes next, it's going to be different. It'll be
fun. So you're not stopping music entirely, correct?
No, absolutely not. I'm not stopping music entirely. I've got a couple of things I'm doing right now on my own. I guess you would have called them side projects, but now they're going to be considered my main projects. But more like just original stuff, and then just I want to get my CDL too, because after work got out, I was driving. A lot of people hit me up. Are you driving for? Do you have your Class A? Do you want to come and drive with my company? They'll pay you well and this and that. I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of doing this right now. I'm retired when I get home, but now I'm thinking about taking advantage of that. What does that sound? I was like, I want to take advantage of that, and so maybe I'll go do that for a little while, and then just on my own time, my own shit, do music. Because I'm at the point now. Like I said, I'm about to be 41 years old, and if I'm gonna do music now, I want it to kind of be on my terms. I want to do my own band for once. I'm always in someone else's band, something that other people created. You know what I mean? I'm so sick of that. Like, I don't get to be creative. I don't get to. I'm always in someone else's shadow all the time. Well, and it's not even just Hed PE. Like you guys probably know, I played with Mushroom Head for a couple of years when they were in transition from Little Dan to Robbie. I was that interim guy, and love those guys too. You know what I mean? They're awesome. I still keep up with those guys. But again, it's just someone else's band. American Head Charge. I'm still technically the current drummer of American Head Charge, but they're on a hiatus right now. And again, not my band. It's just So like at this point in my life, I want to do it if it's going to be like something that I can call.
You have a creative itch that hasn't been scratched yet.
Correct.
That's it. Yeah. So, and there ain't nothing wrong
And
with
it's
that,
not.
though.
And it's not. Yeah. And it's not. And it's just like I want to do the stuff that I'm the most passionate about. You know what I mean? And I can only achieve that with forming something new with someone else that are on the same page with me in my vein of metal, and my vein of hip hop, you know, like my certain vibe, you know what I mean? And so I'm happy. Like I got Jay Mays is a really great vocalist. I'm working with him right now on a hip hop project, some high anxiety dark shit, which I'm very excited about. Where I'm actually going down to Omaha to work with him in a few days. So we're gonna go and record some tracks. He was DJ Starscream's vocalist for a good minute
Oh
of
shit.
Slipknot. And so him and I, yeah. So we've been friends for years, you know what I mean. And so we got something going on together. And old Toxic with Blue Felix, him and I have been talking and kind
Blue Felix.
of masterminding like a sort of yeah. Love those guys.
Blue
I love
Felix is
Jake.
the
He's awesome.
shit,
Him and
dude.
I. Yes, love those
Yes.
guys, and especially you know Toxic is the man. And so you know we're working on something right now, kind of like a groove metal, new metal almost type of vibe. But I'm gonna be he's gonna be coming out here where I'm at up in Michigan, Detroit, in the next I think in about a month and a half, so we can finalize what we already have. So we're gonna do something.
That's exciting to fucking hear,
Dope.
dude. For real, dude. Toxic and Blue Felix, they're like I've seen Toxic as a solo artist live before, and I've seen Blue Felix live before. They're just fucking dope, dude. That's the only
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
looking forward
we've
to
been
that.
friends for so many years, and when I talked to him about it, you know, he was originally thinking about doing something with Jamaz and I together. And I was like, well, do you want to also maybe just work with me and do something different other than the hip hop stuff? Because I got a bunch of like metal, groove metal kind of stuff that I'm really into. Would you be interested in something? He's like, yeah, but do you really want to work with me? I'm like, oh yeah, we've been friends for almost a decade, bro. Like, it's about time we should do something together. And he was stoked, so he jumped on it. He already wrote some stuff to some of the demos. So once we get together, it's just going to be a matter of finalizing his vocals. I'll fine tune some things, and we're going to release that too. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works that I'm excited about. And in the meantime, just kind of work here at home and spend time with my family. You know, maybe now and again go and drive a tour bus for a band or something like that. You know, yeah, we'll do that maybe here and there, but just spend time with my family.
So, Lee, are you there? You look frozen.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you were just very still there for a second. I know we were talking in the group chat about a certain topic that you kind of want to hit on, and I'll kind of go over it too. But I know there was a question that you wanted to ask him personally.
Oh, for sure. No, I kind of talked to you a little about the Poland show. In front of 750,000 people. I know there was some like tragedy happened. Like, what was it? 2 weeks before that. Is that something you're comfortable talking about, or?
Yeah. I mean, I could tell you about the experience. You know, from my perspective, it was like the worst moment of my life combined with the highest point of my professional life, all in one. That's what it was. So, like, on the one hand, I'm the more sad and depressed I'd ever been in my entire life, and which sucks because that year was like my year. I had been totally sober the entire year. I made like a pact to myself, like I'm going to hit the gym every single day without fail this year, and which I did all up until that point. July 18th that year in 2015. I was like in the best shape I'd ever been in my life. Happy, focused. I was in a happy point in my previous marriage. And then that happened, and it just, you know, my brother killed himself in a very brutal way too. Like he jumped in front of a train, you know. So like the last thing I had to think about was my kid brother, who's 8 years younger than me, by the way. So it was a lot different than just a regular sibling kind of thing. It was like, it felt like how I would feel if I lost one of my sons. You know, teaching him how to ride his bike and spending all that time together, you know, swim, all that stuff. So it was a very tough time. And then we had to rush the memorial. And a week later, I was supposed to fly to Poland and play the biggest show in the world. Like, it was so crazy, dude. And I remember I was there, and I was connected. That was the first show of a whole tour, and wow, it was just so emotional that day. Like I showed up, I missed my first flight, by the way, because I was in such a cloud. I had to fly in and go straight from the airport to the show to the stage. But that was it. So high stress and anxiety, depression, despair, everything. But then I'm on stage, and there's 750,000 people in front of me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What the fuck is going on right now? Yeah, it was just a crazy experience. And then that tour went along. We were out with El Nino. Shout out to El Nino for being there, man, because those guys were really cool with me and understood like the dynamic that was happening and really pulled me out of a lot of dark times when I was out there. There'd be sometimes I was so wasted I didn't even know where I was at. And anyone who knows me knows that I can't get wasted. That tour I got wasted, man. Like, just sloshed on the ground, face down, like under the tour bus, like you know. It was wild, just but pulled out of it eventually. Got pulled out of the funk, learned how to live with it, and but that experience itself, yeah, you can imagine that to anyone listening, like what that would be like. It was something else. It took a lot out of me. Really.
So,
Well,
I just want to say personally, thank you for speaking on that kind of subject. You know what I mean? Because not just in like the underground like scene, we're supposed to be like, oh, we don't really talk about that shit, but just like men's health in general. Like we're it's kind of shunned to talk about that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I lost my mom to suicide when I was 18 years old. So I was a young cat, you know what I mean? So suicide affected me greatly, you know what I mean? But look, when I don't know if you can relate to this, but when you lose somebody that way so close to you, yeah, it's saddening and it's disheartening, but it almost makes you want to live in their name 10 times stronger, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Everything I do is for is in production of what I hope my mom would want. You know what I mean? And that's obviously something I wouldn't have if I didn't she didn't pass away at such a young age. You know, so I appreciate you speaking on that kind
you
of stuff.
know, yeah, of course. I mean, nothing's too taboo for me, like I said. But to speak on that, I feel like it's different for everyone, and it's also different for the situation. So to give you an example, let's use an
Mhm.
analogy of your situation. You feel like you want to live in the best way for your mom,
Mhm.
in her honor, like what you're saying, right? Which is totally commonsensical to me because you even just all of us are in some way an extension of our parents,
A product, yes.
like our product
Yeah.
or an extension, whatever you want to call it. That's why DNA tests work, is because we're like, we share that. We share blood, is the bottom line, right? And so I totally get that. And then when you lose someone that's close to you, that's in the capacity, that was your caregiver, you see. And then when you lose someone that you're the caregiver to, that's also going to be, losing my brother is going to be a lot different than when I lose my parents, because it was like I lost my kid. So it's almost
Yeah.
like that feeling is so different because as a big brother, you feel some kind of responsibility to your kid brothers. You know what I mean? So I had like a bunch of feelings of guilt and failure, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Like, what did I go wrong? How did I? Is there anything I did that was nothing for that? But yeah, me too. So that was just my own despair getting the better of me.
Do you me being an artist as well, I don't mean to be like relating too much off of our traumas we've shared. Hey, but
Thank you for your condolences. Appreciate that.
but
That's okay.
I do want to say, uh do you ever take that despair you felt, that guilt you felt, and kind of turn it musically and kind of
Oh yeah.
harness that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. That like the music that I make now, it's almost like it's hard for me to get away from a certain painful element of it, no matter whether it's hip hop music or it's metal music. There's always a lot of pain in the stuff I write. Even when I try not to make it sound too painful, I try to make it sound something else. It always ends up being that. So, yeah, absolutely. I don't see it being an artist. There is some technicality behind it, but there's also a lot of creation behind it. Stuff that's just up here in the ether, as we'll say. You know what I mean? And I think it's impossible for us to not, in some way, pull, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, pull some of that energy into whatever art we create.
Agreed. Do you got any questions? You've been super quiet over here, mister.
I've just been listening, taking it all in. Interesting as fuck.
I mean, dude, like
I'm super excited to see whatever you come up with leading the projects, man.
Yes.
Super excited.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be painful. I promise you that it'll be painful. You know, I'm so happy to be in a situation now to where I don't have to write for something. I don't have to like try to write to be something, anything other than just what I feel like and what I want it to be. It's a great feeling. And me and my guy Jared Jackson, you know, rest in peace. You know, it's funny that we're talking about him now. Rest in peace, Seth. You know, Shifty Shell Shock, man. Rest in peace. He passed away today, and he was a friend of mine. And he was a good guy. I wouldn't say that we were close friends or anything, but we toured together, I would say 4 or 5 times, and we're just always tight. He was a really, really cool dude, man, just battling his own demons, you know what I'm saying? But the guy I'm working with, he played a little bit with Crazy Town on a couple of those tours. He's been a great friend of mine too for a long time. He's my writing partner with the metal stuff, and when we write stuff, I'm always so excited, you know, because we're on that same page of just kind of that certain vein of heavy metal groove, like it's all about just groove and sludgy kind of metal. So I'm so excited for that music. I'm excited for you guid to hear it, man. I'm excited for the world to hear that shit.
Fucking, we're gonna be right there, dude. And like, I maybe this is just me like speaking from an experience, because like I'm sure Lee's told you this podcast is pretty fucking new. Like, you know, we don't really have too much experience like interviewing people, but to have somebody like your caliber, like who's been through the ringer, seen a lot of it, you know, did a lot of things where I grew up watching you, Trauma.
Right.
Like I straight up grew up watching you. Like you know what I mean? Like I was a child, bro. Like straight up kid. But like to be here like with you now and like to see like, hey, like they always say don't meet your idols, but to meet somebody who's like straight up like a legit human being who gives like truths and facts and like doesn't sugarcoat the bullshit. I appreciate the fuck out of you, dog. Thank you for being a real one, dog. Thank you for being a real one.
And thank you for having me on here, man. And shout out, thank you, Courtney Moore, for I appreciate that.
Is there anything?
I got one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay, so you've been doing it this long. Is there one question that you yourself have always wanted someone to ask you? And if there is, what is that question?
You can tell he stayed up late at night thinking about that one, dude. He definitely stayed up late at night thinking about that.
Oh, no. It's actually the easiest question for me to answer in the world. It's a question I wish people would ask me every day when I'm not on tour. Right? Do you want to go do some blow?
Well, you can't get that to you from around the way, but I got you, bro. No, but one other thing I do want to get
out at that time, that would be
no, we heard it. We heard it. Trust me, we heard it. You are cut out now, though. So, are you still there? Oh.
Oh, snaps. Yeah, give me a second. I have to reconnect again.
It's a trauma inception right now, dude. Holy shit, what's going on there?
Can you see me?
Okay. Yeah, we got you. So but anyway,
you got the answer?
We got the answer, bro. Trust me, we got the answer. I do want to say though.
What can I say? I like to party.
I do want to say though, bro. I have one other thing I do want to ask. Is there any other plans on you hitting the road still? Like road touring and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, when I go and drive, if I get, pick up some jobs doing tour bus driving,
yeah,
and I'll be out on tour again,
Okay.
And then, of course, when I release my own stuff, we can get with the right people and get it out there, and there's a market for it. You can start touring that too. But it was like I said, it's got to be on my own terms this time. I want to be in a situation where I'm just like not doing someone else's vision, because I'm always like, it seems like that's like my curse. My whole life I've been in someone else's band, except for like a hot second when I was a teenager, and a hot second in my 20s. I was always in someone else. Don't do this.
Uh-oh.
I'm fucking 40 years old, dude.
So, I mean, I would. You got something to say, Lee?
I was just wondering if you guys got into the departure yet.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep. While you were gone, you're gonna have to rewatch the interview, Lee.
Yeah, my phone fucking shut off.
So before we go though, Trauma, is there anything that you like want to spread to the people who may be going through a hard time, who may be going through a difficult way of life right now? Is there any kind of words of advice from the homie Trauma?
Yeah, sure. If there's anything that I could say about it, it's, one thing that everyone should come to terms with at the earliest stage of your life that you can come to terms with it is that your whole life is going to be filled with challenges and problems from beginning to end. The problems are never going to end. And so if there's anything I could pass on, being able to figure out what your own formula is for accepting the problems and dealing with these problems in a positive way that's going to be good for yourself and your family and the people that care about you. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you're going to be able to just not be so I feel like if you can figure that out and really embrace that, it'll get you through a lot of stuff, man.
If you could,
a lot of people that
if you could kind of reiterate what you just said at the end there, you kind of cut out.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you can learn how to really come to terms with the things that are happening with you, the challenges that you're going through, the problems that are happening with you, and hone in that formula, whatever is right for you, to get you through that in a positive way, to be positive for yourself, family, and those care for your loved ones, and it's going to make things a lot easier on you moving forward in life. Because I've seen some people that are just totally floored by the things that happen in life, you know what I mean? Or they'll get so caught up, worried about this one thing that they missed out on, or something like this, and it's just like, as long as you're living and breathing and you got your health, life is, you've got like infinity opportunities for you, infinity different ways that you can, forge your own path into going and doing something that is going to take you to wherever it is you want to be. So, I guess that's the main thing. It's just try to figure out how to come to terms with whatever you're going through, get yourself through it in a positive way, and just remember, you got an infinite amount of ways for you to go out there and get whatever it is that you're after in this life, whatever it is, whatever it may be.
Dude, it's been super inspirational talking to you, Trauma. I would absolutely love to have you on the show again sometime, just shooting the shit. It was a great deep dive, bro.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We got some serious stuff. I appreciate it this time, maybe next time. We'll be in a situation where I'm not so busy running around throughout the day and I have some cocktails with y'all.
No worries, bro. Yeah, man. One of these times we'll do something crazy like that. Have like an old school 1920s movie, 1930s movie playing in the background, and we'll just shoot the shit and watch it or something, bro. I'm down with it.
Hey, it sounds great, man. Let's make it happen, dude. It's been a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Trauma.
I want to get back to it.
Oh yeah, hey, congrats on the family again, man.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
Appreciate that, you guys. All right, take care.
Yeah, see you, bud. All right, everybody. That was the homie Trauma, formerly of the band Hed PE. He's going off and venturing. That was right on the 1 hour mark. That was crazy.
That's gonna be sick to see the shit he does.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually super duper excited
Me
to.
too.
That's super corny of me to say duper duper like that over and over
A
again.
little corny.
Yeah, but thank you for everybody who's tuned in today. This was actually a very cool deep dive into the mind. If you can, give this a share, give this a like, leave a whoop in the comments as well. We got some cool news coming up for the podcast. Can't really say anything, but it's really cool. I'm really glad we got a position where we're at. It's really all I can say. It should be announced here within a couple weeks, I hope. I hope. So, but with that being said, thank you for tuning into the Underground Pulse podcast. I'm Gunner B. This is Boom and Pokey. This is Lee. 2 scoops of glorious whoop.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoop, whoop.